Well, good afternoon, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola here, another one of our Osceola Matters show. And I think that is extraordinarily accurate, the title of the show, Osceola Matters. And today, even more so, as we have the chairman of the Osceola County Board of County Commissioners, Mr. Brandon Arrington, here from District 3. I'm not going to talk today. I'm just going to go right get the commissioner on here, and lots going on. So we're glad to have him. Mr. Chairman, how are you today, sir?
Great, Keith. Thanks so much for having me again.
Absolutely. So we chatted earlier. We talk about the two words that seem to be an oxymoron these days are summer break.
That's a fair assumption. It's been nonstop at the county all summer long, and It seems that way around our community as well. Having record number of tourists here for 8 straight months from a TDT collection. So yes, Osceola County has been moving and grooving.
Yeah, I think it was like the slingshot effect. We had a few years when we were kind of in a scenario where we were unaccustomed to being in, and I think it feels like we did a major league 180, and now we're trying to embrace all the things that are happening. I can remember saying, "Gosh, we're an organization that covers events, and there aren't any events happening." And now I'm like, it was a quiet, peaceful time in that realm.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I agree with you completely. As I tell everybody that how busy we've been, and it is, Keith, like you said, it's like people haven't done events for 2 years,
right?
And everyone has shoved in 2 years worth of events in about 3 to 4 months. It seems like. So I've been doing my fair amount of rubber chicken dinners and lunches the last couple months. That's for sure.
Yes, you have. So Let's chat about all that. Officially, I'm going to we'll do the intro and then we'll get right at it. Cool with you?
Wonderful. Sounds great.
Right. Again, today we are honored to have the chairman of the Osceola County Board of County Commissioners. That is Brandon Arrington, commissioner for District 3. And so much stuff we could talk about. I'm sure we could pull off an hour show, but I'm going to kind of, like I said, this is an easy gig for me today because I'm going to kind of just lean it towards you. And when I've got some graphics and a few videos we can show to reinforce some of the things you have, but it's really just going to turn it over to you. And just again, thanks for being with us today.
No problem, Keith. And thanks again so much for giving us a platform to get out some information about what's happening in the county. I think that's one of the toughest things that government has is making sure we get our message out to the community. And we don't always do the best at it. So I appreciate every time you give me a chance to get on here and speak.
Of course.
As a lot of people may know, we just had a major announcement here in Osceola County, and that was us being awarded, and I say us, Osceola County and our coalition. We were awarded almost $50.8 million from the federal government to go towards our investments at Neo City. We are one of 21 coalitions throughout the entire United States that were able to receive federal dollars, and which is impressive because there were 529 applications nationwide. And the fact that we were the only one in the state of Florida to receive funding, but also the only one in the nation that is focused around semiconductor research and development. And so we're very excited that the first federal investment in semiconductors was made right here in our backyard in Kissimmee at Neo City. So we're very thankful and very fortunate. And that $50 million is going to allow us to continue to advance different programs at Neo City. One of the main features is going to be buying some new tools to help totally finish out our existing laboratory that we have there on campus. And that's going to allow us to start moving some operations and some other products forward here at Neo City. There's also been a grant given for Osceola County to help, as part of that grant, to help bring awareness to our community and show everyone what's happening at Neo City, and also ways that they might be able to get involved in the future, specifically through employment opportunities here in Osceola County. So we're really excited by that. UCF was also a part of that program and received some funding as well to
Awesome.
expand some education opportunities. Skywater was a member of that partnership with us as well, and so they're seeing some revenue to advance some of their operations here in Osceola County as well. So really a big day in Osceola County for us to receive such a large investment from the federal government. And we want to make sure we thank the Biden administration for the Build Back Better challenge that we participated in and were able to receive these funds. Now, as exciting as that $50 million is, I would tell you that is literally us turning on the spigot from the federal government.
Right.
And I say that because this fund was part of the Build Back Better challenge. This isn't part of the overall CHIPS grant that was recently approved by the Congress and the Senate and approved by our president. And that is a large opportunity for funding. And I could be wrong, Keith, but I want to tell you the investment of the CHIPS Act is around $50 billion. And after speaking with Congressman Soto, he believes that the state of Florida could see somewhere between $1 to $2 billion investment from the CHIPS Act. And so we are working hard with Congressman Soto, our federal partners, trying to bring more of those funds back here to Osceola County to continue to advance our operations and research in semiconductors here in Osceola County. Because we've been on here, we've spoken many times about the importance that semiconductors are playing in our daily lives and the lives of our country, and specifically from a safety perspective, whether that's dealing with our Department of Defense, and that could be anywhere from tanks, guns, airplanes, computer systems. We want to make sure that those semiconductors and those chips are built, designed, and manufactured here in the United States, so that we have the safe and understanding and security that we need to know that there's not a back door built into a chip that might be running our water system or our lights on our street lights. So really important stuff. And it really is hard to believe that Osceola County is now in the semiconductor business sometimes. It really is. I was recently in Denver, and we were talking about discussions of investments in infrastructure, and I used us as a prime example of what an investment in infrastructure looks like, and that is our investment in Neo City, whether it's our office building, our partnership with Neo City High School, or whether it's our fab where work is being done. We chose to make an investment in economic development in a different way, and that investment is already paying dividends to our community. Whether it's through the grant, and it's also through some of the prospective businesses that we've been communicating with that are now looking to move to Neo City to expand their operations. Major companies that a lot of us would be very familiar with. Unfortunately, I'm not able to divulge any of that information and what those companies.
Can't break them out today.
Trust me, I would love to. That'd be a great day. But we've got a lot of great interest in some of the things we're doing here, not only at our Neo City site, but some of our other sites throughout Osceola County, even some stuff down in District 3 that we're looking at bringing in to grow and diversify our economy. So a great day for Osceola County to move our economy forward and really work on building that third leg of the stool for economic development. Right. As anyone who's lived here long enough knows, that ag and tourism have really been our bread and butter for a myriad of years.
Sure.
And whether or not you specifically work in them, you might have an ancillary operation that works for tourism and agriculture as well. And so we really thought developing and focusing on some high-tech, high-wage jobs was the way to move the needle, but specifically move the median income here in Osceola County, because that's something I know I've always focused on since I've been elected, is not only our property values, but our median incomes. I feel like those are two direct responses to the investments you've made in your community, whether your wages are growing and also your valuations of your property are growing as well. And if you've lived here long enough, you know the value of your property has gone up over the last 10 years, probably steadily, which is a great thing for our community as well. It can make it a little challenging for new folks coming into our community and also challenging for some of our renters. But if you're a property owner, you've seen a great return throughout this last decade, if you will.
Yeah. Not to mention the two or three decades. That's gargantuan change. So, so it seemed, and I'll use the word seemed. So it seemed like it all happened so very quickly. I mean, I know it did at this point, But reality is that you and a number of other people, certainly the Board of County Commissioners and the leadership, Don Fisher, you guys have been busting it for a while. You've done the heavy lifting. It's not always been easy. You know, it's not easy to cast out a vision and say, hey, believe this. This is going to be what it is. Now it seems like you guys are all clairvoyant, for crying out loud, because 10 years ago, we weren't hearing about sensors. We weren't hearing about chip. They were obviously in play, but not to the level where the public awareness is huge now. So it had to feel very good when you realized you were going to see that 50.8 million.
And Keith, you're correct. It felt, I wouldn't say somewhat vindicated, but the idea that we know that the plan we laid out is one that will work and that will move the needle for our community. And you're right. This is it's been 10 years starting to where we're at today.
Right.
And 10 years of building that partnership, finding out a way to move forward, bringing in new businesses to establish themselves in our office building and in our space as well. And, you know, like any big project, you know, of course, there's been hiccups along the way. Some of our partnership and issues with UCF in the past, which are now on a much better track record with good funding coming in from UCF annually, which is great. But that also allowed us the opportunity to bring in Skywater to operate our fab, which is the only American-owned semiconductor industry here in the United States. And that's important because that goes back to my original comment of making sure we can build safe, secure chips and semiconductors here in Osceola County. And so it is interesting. But when we started out on this journey, Keith, I would tell you, we did our homework. We did a cluster study to see what industries in Central Florida would align with whatever industry we tried to focus on. We obviously looked at what educational opportunities were here and institutions. What were they trying to create from an education line? And we landed on semiconductors. And then we took off and have been working nonstop for the last decade trying to build that up. And now if you get a chance, and I recommend any Osceola County resident, please go take a ride down Neo City. Go check it out. See the 400 acres of raw land that Osceola County owns free and clear. Right. It will be our economic development tool moving forward. Go check out Neo City High School, I believe it's one of the top 100 high schools in the United States. It is amazing. I believe one of their students just had a project that went up into space, I think in the last week or two. So amazing things are happening. But we didn't stop there. We've also partnered with Valencia to have the advanced manufacturing training facility to be able to train folks to be able to work in this industry without having a degree or a PhD. There are a lot of jobs that are skilled technicians that need to have that training. And that's a great opportunity for some of our underemployed individuals here in Osceola County. And so we've really tried to put that outreach to make sure people saw those opportunities and have been able to take advantage of them as well.
Awesome. Now I've got a video clip, real short one. That is the EDA grant video. Mind if I play that real quick?
Please, I'd love it.
The Orlando region is home to magic and microchips. After more than a year-long effort by a regional coalition, Osceola County's Neo City is now an epicenter of U.S. domestic microchip manufacturing and semiconductor reshoring. The Orlando region was officially awarded $50.8 million as one of 21 recipients of the U.S. Department of Commerce's Economic Development Administration Build Back Better Regional Challenge. This is a landmark moment that positions the Orlando region as a leader in reinforcing our national security and supply chain integrity. The Orlando region is a key player, driving innovations in advanced manufacturing and defense. This grant will supercharge job creation and have a compounding economic impact by attracting some of the world's most innovative companies to grow and scale in the region. Together, we're catalyzing inclusive growth through semiconductor manufacturing. Another example of why Orlando is unbelievably real.
As is Osceola County. That's right. Well, that's us. That's our backyard. That's right. It's a great illustration of it laying out the entire site over what's predicted to be about a 30-year growth pattern for that site. So I don't know if I'd say we're in year 10 from a development perspective, but I think another good 20 years we'll really start to see all that come forward. And then obviously we've also got the city center that's moving forward here in Neo City along the lakefront, which will include a performing arts center and even looking at including that 2,500 seat amphitheater outdoor space. That's a nice communal opportunity for our citizens here in Osceola County. So a lot of good stuff, and a lot of good stuff still yet to come there at Neo City.
Yeah, it's also great to see the synergy that's happening in the partnerships, the coalitions that are all working it to make this all work. That doesn't come without some intense work as well. So, good for you guys. It's a big deal, big part of it. So I'll show another clip I've got of Neo City a little later as a close, but why don't you go ahead and so what else is going on in Osceola County?
Sure. You were talking about synergy, Keith, and that is a great word to use for Osceola County. Osceola County has come forth and has sponsored an opportunity with our school district in the amount of funding of $2.1 million to establish a manufacturing career and technical education academy at Liberty High School. And this was an initiative from their last principal I had a chance to work with. She had met with Representative Arrington about some needs and opportunities at Liberty High School. And then we followed up with a meeting to see how we could work with them to really create an opportunity for Liberty High School students. If you pay enough attention, Liberty High School sometimes doesn't always get the greatest press. They can be identified with some challenges. And one of the things they were lacking was a specific program that kids could identify and utilize right on that campus. So with our investment of $2.1 million to move that program forward, so those kids have an opportunity to get a great skill set right in high school that they will be either able to take right into the workforce or to move forward to some more advanced training opportunities to continue that career. And that's important because we want to make sure all of our kids in Osceola County have that opportunity to get that educational enrichment so they don't get a job, they can have a career. And so we were very, very fortunate. Working with Dr. Pace is always a great opportunity. She is such a collaborative partner and making things happen. And obviously we couldn't done any of this, whether it was the idea from the past principal or our funding from the county. We couldn't do any of this without Dr. Pace. And so we're very excited to once again continue our partnership with our school district to really try and provide those kids out at Liberty a unique training opportunity. And I know I've talked to them also. They've got plenty of space and would love an automotive training opportunity there as well. And we've been trying to do some work from the county perspective to see if we can't make some partnerships to try and create that opportunity down the line for them as well. I think it would be a great fit for that area from a training standpoint. And I know the school is excited about it. So we're going to continue to try and build on some of those opportunities. And just make sure our kids have every opportunity to succeed and not get jobs, but get careers.
Right.
That's a key, distinction of what some folks have maybe pushed in the past, but we want to make sure folks have the training to be successful long-term. And that's why, again, Keith, I'll just throw this out there. We are most likely going to be funding Osceola Prosper once again this year. I've been having ongoing talks with our county manager about what the cost would look like. How do we move that forward? So I'll be bringing that up at our next meeting. I believe I'll have full support from our board to continue forward to do that. But I really think if we can continue this program for years, we can change the importance of education in our community, because not everyone understands how important it is to have training or education in the job force. A lot of folks think you graduated high school and you should get right to work.
Right.
Well, I suggest you take 6 months to a year, at least get some training in a specific category, and it will automatically improve your hourly wage or your salary, whatever that may be, and really open some doors open for the job opportunities here in Central Florida, because we know everything is continuing to grow here, whether that's new neighbors, new businesses. A lot is happening in Central Florida, and I encourage anyone to embrace those education opportunities as well to move it forward. So it's one of the things that we focus on, Keith, as you well know, in our budget this past year.
Sure.
Is once again infrastructure and education, and whether that's investments in parks, whether that's investments in new fire stations, or the $2.5 billion worth of construction that's happening over the next 4 years in our roadway. We really want to make sure that we are building a good infrastructure to have competitiveness here in Osceola County, but also a good quality of life for all of our residents as well.
I've got a video and I want to play that shows the when you went to Liberty that day. But I've got to say, I think it's easy sometimes to try to try for that big ticket item. And don't take this wrong. As far as leadership, I think sometimes in some communities you see them doing that, and I'm sure they mean well and they mean it in a positive way when they're investing in certain things. But what I've seen is specifically since you've been chair is a heavy focus on really encouraging education. That's an investment that you don't maybe see the dividends for a decade, or maybe longer. And so I think it's hats off to you and the board and your board that you've done it repeatedly. I've seen it as it's almost like a DNA.
Keith, you froze up on me. I don't know if I'm live for you or not. Keith, you're still frozen for me. Keith, it's storming pretty bad here at the courthouse. I don't know if it's my connection or if it's yours, but obviously we've frozen up. Oh, well, I think we may have lost Keith, but I'll make a comment in regards to what he was saying beforehand, and yes, we have made a huge investment. Keith, there you go.
Hey,
awesome. I was going to answer where you had left off. I wanted to make sure I wasn't talking all over you. Then
you're good.
I was the only one on the screen, but to your point, the county manager and I had a conversation. It's probably been 11 years ago about what economic development looks like and what it looks like for everyone in the nation. And I may have said this to you and your audience before, but when most folks go out for economic development opportunities, they look at property, they look at tax breaks, they look at see what everyone can throw at the company that wants to move from Connecticut to another state. And I just say Connecticut because we've seen that here.
Sure.
And so the conversation was, I think we had just lost out on another opportunity that went somewhere else that we thought we were shortlisted for. And my comment was, I don't know how we can expect to win or have a high winning percentage when we're playing the same game as every single one else.
Right.
And so the idea was, how do we change economic development around infrastructure, which I've said 100 times today, and education? Because those are real investments. And when I say real investments, they're investments in our community. Those are investments in our citizens, our taxpayers. It's infrastructure that'll be here in our community. Neo City is a wonderful example of that infrastructure. The Valencia campus on Pleasant Hill Road is a partnership between Valencia and Osceola County. That's an investment in infrastructure. Osceola Prosper is an investment in education. Our partnership with Liberty High School, our expansion of 2 TICO campuses throughout Osceola County, our partnership with the Digital Reads program that the school district had. Osceola County has been committed to making sure that we invest in our community and our people. And it's a different approach, but as you said before, I think we're starting to see the dividends from that different approach and that different investment, because I can tell you the Osceola Prosper program, when I have spoken to people anywhere in the nation that know what we're doing, or if I've informed them of the opportunity, they're shocked. But when they get shocked, I encourage them to do the same. And that's that's somewhat of our hope, I would tell you, that other communities will see the opportunity, see the post-secondary education going rates, see what a better trained workforce can do for a community, and make a similar investment. I mean, my hope is that this is a long-term investment in Osceola County. And I have had some naysayers. Someone said to me, well, then people are going to just move here to go to our school district. And I said, wonderful.
Yeah.
If people who are invested in education want to move here to get an AA or a skills training degree, come on down. We would love to have that mentality here in Osceola County, because that means they understand and appreciate the value of training and education and what that can do for you long term. So it's definitely something we're invested in. It's unique. It's a unique approach, but I believe this is the best approach for our community at this time.
Yeah, I totally agree. And if they do move down here, they'll get to hopefully engage with two overperforming humans, which that would be Dr. Deborah Pace, school district, and Dr. Kathleen Polinsky at Valencia. Those are two amazingly huge, high performing leaders. And again, huge synergy between the county and those leaders. So big deal. I know we're running a little long, but I think it's worth. Do you mind if I play the video from Liberty?
No, please. That sounds great.
Let's do it.
Hey, it's Chairman Arrington, and we are here at Liberty High School doing a check presentation of $500,000 from my Betterment Dollar funds that we received from ARPA. Each commissioner was given over $1 million to help out our community, whether that's spurring economic development, helping with homelessness, or even working on education. And that's where I've decided to spend a lot of my money. So the county has invested $2.1 million in an advanced manufacturing training facility right here at Liberty High School. We're going to put 180 kids through the next 2 years through this program, and what it's going to do is give them gainful skills to get employment right out of high school and move them forward to a good paying job that hopefully will move them into a career. So very excited for the kids of Liberty High School and also our school district, because once again, our county commission has been committed, specifically during this pandemic, in making sure our residents have the skills needed to be successful during pandemics or recessions. And that's one of the things we've been trying to do, is diversify our economy, but also upskill our workforce in order to diversify that economy. So once again, it's another great investment by Osceola County here at Liberty High School. So if your student is a Liberty student and is excited about advanced manufacturing, I would tell them to take a look at the program. It's a great opportunity right here in Osceola County. I'm your chairman, Brandon Arrington. Thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great day.
Point right on. That was it right there, man.
Yes, sir.
Good stuff.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, big day, really. And of course, a little video bomb of my son in the background. Anyway, so
and I think that video there again, Keith, really shows those collaborative partnerships where you see our school district, obviously Chairwoman Terry Castilla there, our state representative, and also we had an individual who's from private business who deals with unions and trading, and he was excited to be there as well, to partner in that collaboration, because it's one thing for us to provide the training, but if we don't also provide that connection to industry, which is so important, sometimes those kids can get lost. So it was great to have him there as well.
And we mentioned it last time. I know we talked about the pipelines that were a discussion point again, maybe a decade ago, and now are part of what is happening between the county and the cities, and certainly the school district in Valencia. So great topics, huge points of what growth is, what the community's culture changing and evolving. I know you're also been deep in the budget process. Why don't you share a little bit about that, if you don't mind?
Sure. We just wrapped up our budget last night, and I know this is going to sound staggering, but we are at a $2.4 billion overall budget. The biggest change was just from what we had in our previous meetings, was bringing forward some of our capital projects that we already have underway that also have to do with some of our grants. So great opportunities there in our budget. There is a merit increase, a cost of living increase for all of our employees. Also, we were able to wrap up our negotiations with our corrections union as well. So they will be able to see some of those same increases that our other non-union employees will be getting here in Osceola County. Lots of huge investments, once again, in infrastructure, not only roadways, but also starting to see some big movement in our parks investment here in Osceola County. So be on the lookout for some of those opportunities. We've got 2 new fire stations going in as well. So there again, lots of investment back in our infrastructure of Osceola County, and continuing to try and move everything else forward here in Osceola County. So a lot of good stuff. Once again, Osceola Prosper is going to be in there budgeted as well, so we can provide that opportunity to the 2023 graduates. So looking forward to making that official announcement once that's totally set up. And so a lot of hard work. We had a couple folks come out and speak, but not that many. Obviously, Osceola County is growing, and also those property values are growing as well. So continued revenue increasing here in Osceola County once again, which allows us to continue to provide more services to make this the best place to live in Central Florida.
Love it. And like you said, there's so many things have happened in the last, say, 6 months, 4 or 6 months. that things move quickly through conversations like this. But Osceola Prosper was a big deal, and it's great to see that it's still part of the discussion and the processing you're doing. It's great program. And we were able to come out. I think we visited 3 schools that day when you made the announcements, and to see the faces on the kids. Sometimes it really comes back down to the minutia, right? Which is just so very important. You've got real families, real kids that their paths are changed because it opened up doors that may not have been open. So good for you guys.
Yeah. No, that's good, Keith. And to that point that was one of the greatest things about being at those schools is hearing these kids who I saw a group of young men who were all stoked, if you will. They were going to be going to college together.
Yeah.
They thought their journey as friends had pretty much ended here at high school. And the idea that they were all going to be able to move forward was elating to them and obviously to me to see as well.
Sure. Great stuff. So I would feel bad if we didn't mention you have the State of the County coming up soon. You being the chair, certainly you'll be the keynote speaker. I want to talk a little bit about that so folks who may not have been aware of that will maybe possibly be able to get.
Sure. The State of the County will be happening once again, and it's the week after October 16th. I can't remember the date, Keith. Sorry, you'll have to find some great slide to put in there to show me the day. But it's an opportunity for folks to come out and learn a little bit more about Osceola County. It will be at OHP once again. I know they're helping to partner to sell tables for that event. And I think all proceeds raised usually go back to a nonprofit back in our community. But it's a great time to see and hear all the amazing things that are happening in our community. Once it's done, I know they do put it online as well. And Keith, I'm pretty sure you come out and join us and take some footage as well. But a lot of great things happening. We're really looking forward to showcasing it. And we're hoping to maybe have another big announcement by that time as well. So fingers crossed. I'm really looking forward to that. And now I'm gonna do a shameless plug here, Keith. If you're looking for something to do this weekend or next, please go out to Osceola Arts and see Young Frankenstein. It's a great show. The cast and crew and our team has put together an amazing production. So I really encourage you to go check that out. If visual arts is your game, I would tell you to come by when our operating hours and check out our Hispanic heritage display that we have throughout our 3 spaces at Osceola Arts. A great way to get connected to our community. A lot of awesome things to happen. And so if you're looking for something to do this weekend, come out and support the arts at Osceola Arts.
Osceola County's got it. Big deal. We're big fans of that particular organization. It's I've said it before. I don't know how you have a growing, changing, improving community if you don't have a strong arts program, and they are the advocates. Certainly what you're doing as a leader there. So big deal. We love it. Love those guys. And yeah, I think we're going to be live streaming the State of the County. You talked to Chris Brumbaugh today.
Awesome.
So that should be happening. So, but
Great.
Certainly a better event if you can be there. No doubt about it.
It sure is. It's definitely a lot better. The colors and smells are greater than you can imagine.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. Anything else you want to share today?
No, I you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. I attended Mayor Swan's funeral today and just want to give big kudos for all his service to our community, being a county commissioner for 12 years and a mayor for, I believe, 10. So that's a lot of service in our community. He was a great advocate for Osceola County, but specifically our Lake Toho. He is the gentleman that led the lawsuit against Orange County and the city of Orlando to stop putting waste in Shingle Creek and into Lake Toho. So that was a big achievement. I don't know if he or his family would say that was a crowning achievement, but I know it was a big deal to me and other folks that are concerned about the quality of our lakes. And that was some time ago, obviously, but just wanted to say a life well lived by Mayor Swan. Well
said. You called him a gentleman. That he certainly was. Also had great sense of humor and definitely a servant leader. So he will be missed for sure. A great life pledge for sure. I wouldn't mind if you got a couple seconds. I've got a short clip of Neo City. I'd like to real quick. Is that all right with you?
That sounds great.
Here we go. right. You said it earlier. At some points, it does look a tad computer generated, but that is in Kissimmee, folks.
And I know it's real because I saw my Chevy Volt at the charging station there. So,
There you go. Very well.
but
Well-
there again, Keith, I would tell people to please go if you get a chance, see what the future of Osceola County looks like before growth and development hits it. And if you're looking for a great place to take a run or walk a dog, it's a great place to do so already.
And going to be for many years to come. Well, we appreciate you very much, Mr. Chairman. Anything else you want to close with?
Well, thanks so much and have a safe week.
You as well. I appreciate it. I know you guys are zinging around all over the place, getting things done. So I appreciate you taking a chunk of time today and spending it with us.
Glad to do so, Keith. Thanks so much for the invite.
You got it. Again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola, along with the chairman of the Osceola County Board of County Commissioners. That is Brandon Arrington, Commissioner for District 3. Together, we're making a positive difference in and around Osceola County. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.